Good evening. The time is 6:01, and I'd like to call the Nash County Public Schools Student Support Services and Operations Committee meeting to order. We'll start by taking the attendance of the committee members. Richard Jenkins.
Here.
Donovan Chavis.
Present.
Evelyn Hines Bullock.
Here.
Thank you. At this time, I entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So move. Second.
Moved by Ms. Hines Bullock, seconded by Ms. Chavis.
Ms. Washington.
Yes.
Hey, this is Dean. I thought you said I was on this committee.
You are. I apologize. Thank you, Board Member Dean Edwards.
I'm here.
For the record, thank you. All right, at this time, we'll have the school safety plans presented by Mr. Farrell.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, and to our other board members. I stand before you tonight to present our school safety plans. The superintendent recommends the approval of the school safety plans as presented. And I am going to go through a short presentation. Mr. McQueen, thank you, good sir. Several years ago, the North Carolina Emergency Management System created a school risk management portal for the purpose of all schools in the state of North Carolina having one central place to place their to put their school safety plans, which would provide an opportunity for law enforcement and emergency management across the state to access those school emergency plans. Ms. McQueen. During the first year of the creation of this repository for school safety plans, the administrators were tasked with making sure that the plans were updated, properly placed in the system, and submitted for review for the Nash County Fire Marshal and Emergency Management Office. I would like to make note that all schools in the state of North Carolina at that time, nor at this time, are using this particular portal. Nash County Public Schools, formerly known as Nash Rocky Mount Public Schools at that time when it was initiated, wanted to get in on the very beginning of this process and has been using this process ever since, and actually has been one of the school districts leading this process in the state in terms of having their school safety plans in this repository. This year, all of our emergency plans were reviewed and completed and published by November 4th. The schools that do not currently have a plan in this system would be City High School and Nash Rocky Mount Early College. And it's because those schools, because of their affiliation with the community college system, there has not been a plan created in that portal for early colleges and schools like City High Schools. It is something that Lewis Smith, who reviews our plans, have submitted to the state for consideration, but it has not been finalized at this time. Again, Lewis Smith, who's Deputy Fire Marshal for Nash County Emergency Service, is the individual who's responsible for reviewing our school plans, providing feedback to the principals of each school, and working with me to work with those principals. Mr. Smith gives the confirmation that a school plan is ready for publishing. And once he does that, I share that information with the principals and they publish their plans. There was a document that was attached for your review that showed the dates of reviews by Mr. Smith and when he approved each plan for publishing. So at the beginning of each school year, when we meet with principals, one of the things that I'm tasked with doing is making sure that I remind principals to update their school safety plans with information as needed. Some of the things that they have to update may be staff names, evacuation sites, making sure that they review their procedures and protocols with all their staff. Okay, Mr. McQueen. To give you, so you can see the school risk management site where principals have to go and place their plans. I'm going to ask Mr. McQueen to pull that site up. So when principals go to this school risk management safety site, this is what they see. They would log in. Mr. McQueen is going to do the login for me. I have a district level login. And so it's going to pull up all the schools here, all our schools in the district that have their safety plans here. You can see over to the right, there's a lock, and that symbol means that the plans are locked. And when the plans are locked, that means that no one can go into those plans except for an individual at the school who can unlock the plan, or if you're with emergency management and law enforcement and you have the access, the capability of unlocking those plans. I do not even, as a district level person, do not have the right to go in and unlock those plans. Again, only the principal at the school or designated people in law enforcement and emergency management can go in and lock those plans and see what is there. If a plan is locked, it means that that plan is published, and that is the safety plan that that school is using. You can go back to thank you. So what we ask the schools to do is once their plan has been approved by Mr. Smith, is that they will download their plan from the PDF file that is there on the site onto a USB drive, and then they send that to Ms. Harvey. This year, the date I asked them to submit it to Ms. Harvey by was October the 9th. We give them that date at the very beginning so that principals have a deadline to work towards, but we do understand that sometimes it may extend past that. There are 3 lockdown drills that we require of our principals. More than 3 is optional for the school if they choose to do so. Law enforcement should be present at either their first or their second drill. During the drill with law enforcement, we ask our schools to make sure that they initiate or activate their emergency red buttons to make sure that they are working properly. Also contacting 911 to make them aware that they are testing the system, because we don't want anyone thinking that we have a situation at a school when it's not a real situation. And as you can see there are 3 drill dates that are given to principals at the very beginning of the school year. An active shooter video is something that we're required by law. Each school is required by law to show to their staff members at the beginning of each school year as part of their safety training. Mr. McQueen, if you would click on that video for me. And as you can see there, I'm not going to show, you can stop it there, Mr. McQueen. I'm not going to show you the video, but the video is about approximately 20 minutes long. And basically what it does is it goes through the procedures, processes that schools should take if there happen to be an active shooter or an intruder on campus. We asked our schools prior to their lockdown drill to call me. If they cannot get in contact with me, I ask them to call Ms. Harvey. If they can't get in contact with Ms. Harvey, we ask them to call the main office. And the reason why I asked them to call me right before they do their drill is in the event that there was a real emergency. And after they have contacted 911 and they put their school in lockdown, if they have the opportunity to make us aware at central office so we can start initiating and making our plans for the things that we need to do to assist them during that time. There are also 2 tabletop activities that are required by each school. during each school year. Tabletops are simply safety scenarios that could possibly happen in which the faculty and staff should be made aware of, should know what to do. So most often is during a faculty meeting when the principal will present these scenarios to their faculty. They have to go through them and tell what they would do. And then the principals are required to send that information to me of what their safety scenario was, and also a copy of the staff member sign-in sheet for that particular tabletop. And as you can see there were 2 dates that the tabletop activities were due, October 30th, and we have one coming up February 26th. Fire drills, which falls now in Mr. Davis' court. The first fire drill is due within the first 10 days of school. And then there's a fire drill that's done once monthly. When a school completes their fire drill, it's submitted to Mr. Davis. Any questions for me? Yes, sir.
On that slide you have an active shooter.
Mhm.
This is just me concerned. I know it won't happen, but you had 2 folks that you got for call-ups. You number being number 1, and
That's
Ms.
for the
Harvey.
drill. That's only for the lockdown drill.
Okay,
If it was an actual situation and they had an opportunity to call the school, I would be the first person they try to call. If they could not get me, the next person would be Mr. Thompson. If they could not get Mr. Thompson, the next person would be Dr. Catalano. If they couldn't get Dr. Catalano, then they would go through the main office and ask to speak to Dr. Ellis' office.
that's right. Thank you for clearing it.
Yes, sir.
Is there any further discussion on the school safety plans? If not, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to recommend the school safety plans to the full board for approval.
Madam Chair, I move that we make this recommendation to the full board.
Motion made by Donna Chavis, second by Ms. Hines Bullock. At this time, we'll go ahead and conduct a roll call vote. Jenkins?
I can't hear you. Your volume went away.
Donovan Chavis,
Yes,
Evelyn Hines Bullock.
Yes.
I'm a yes. Dean Edwards.
Yes.
Did we lose Mr. Jenkins? Richard Jenkins?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes unanimously. All right, if there is no further business, which there's not, at this time, I'll adjourn the meeting.